Thank you.
You're welcome, sir.
Okay. All right. Good afternoon, everyone. Yes.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Thank you. Yes. In the next 30 minutes, 30 to 45 minutes, let's see some few things that we can all learn together. All right. The topic is mobile device security made simple. Yes. So we will really see whether it is something that is simple or not. Then also the second phase of it is securing your digital footprint. So when we say digital footprint, what is it about and what are the lessons or things that we ought to do? All right, so that is what this entire webinar is about. Well, I have a background in ethical hacking, then computer forensic investigation, then also data protection, which is something I love to do so much these days. And I research into data protection and privacy. Well, because of how the world is going and the demands of the day, I have taken very keen interest in that area, and I fully work around things related to data protection and privacy. All right. So for today, what are we going to be talking about and why? Yes, I will be talking about mobile device security. All right. So why mobile device security matters? We be concerned? Why should we be concerned? All right. Our mobile devices contain sensitive personal and business information, which needs to be kept safe at all times. 2 days ago, over the weekend, I was talking with my landlord, and he again painted the picture that these days, not only for the educated, but almost everybody is using their mobile devices for, in one way or the other, for some businesses. And they also use these tools to keep very sensitive information about themselves on their mobile devices, which we all do these days because of how portable these devices are, how easy we can access information on this. So as a matter of fact, it is the office for most people these days. Without their mobile devices, they are unable to transact business. Their copies of their ID cards, business certificates, payment receipts, very vital report, document presentations are stored on these mobile devices. So they have become the tool we use to run our everyday lives. And therefore, to secure these devices or gadgets is very, very key and very important. We don't have to lose it. All right. So the agenda for today is to understand the mobile device threat landscape across the world. We need to look at the picture where we are, where we were, where we are now, and how the trend is going to go. Then it will help us be on our toes to know exactly the things that we ought to do. Then we also look at some very simple security measures, which, as much as they are very simple, we tend to ignore these things. And they are the very things that puts us into very serious problems and challenges. Then how we can also secure mobile apps and the best practices. Then we'll also have some time for Q&As as the time may allow. All right. So, let's go. Now, looking at the graph behind, on the screen, you can see that there's a very high percentage of malwares across the use of mobile apps. This research was a report by Kaspersky, just last year, 2022. And this is how the trend looks like. You see, the threat landscape is the big picture of potential risk and dangers people may face. So when we talk about the threat landscape, we are looking at what's the potential risk are and what dangers people may be facing when they go online using their mobile tools, devices, and the apps. All right. So last year, 2022, actually saw 67.78% increase in the surge of mobile devices application attacks across the world. 67, which is a very high increase. Now, countries by share of users attacked by mobile malware. The top 20, China ranking the first. Of course, we should expect it based on their population, were 17.7%. And coming to one of the least, which is in Africa, not the least, but among the top 10, is Tanzania, which also saw 5.15% increase in mobile attacks by software type, as analyzed by Kaspersky. Now, the mobile banking Trojan installers in 2022, a year on, increase of 100%, and the highest figure in the past 6 years. What it means is that Trojan horses or installers that install malware apps or malwares on devices, mobile devices, saw 100% increase. And these are specifically targeted to mobile banking applications or mobile apps. Now, all of us, or most of us here on this platform, one way or the other, may be using some form of mobile application to interact with our financial institutions. All right. So that is the attack area, which has increased about 100%, which is a very dramatic increase over the past 6 years, according to the studies undertaken by Kaspersky. Then users attack. If you look at per country basis, Spain ranked the highest for the first 10 top 10 countries across the world. Users attack per country. Spain saw 1.96% increase, whilst India also saw 0.16%. So the question will be, what are the Indians doing right? Even though India has more than 5 times the population of Spain. All right, maybe there's something they could be doing right. Is it because of the infiltration, user education? What have you not? Well, that is not our focus. But this is just to paint a picture that increasingly there's target on mobile devices, apps, and the physical devices as well. All these are attacks that, based on the statistics, not only from Kaspersky, but from other well-known research institutions, paint the picture that it is on the ascendant. It is growing, getting bigger, tougher, more complex, and complicated across the world. All right. Now, what are some of the simple security measures that we can take? Now, before we even look at the simple strategy that we can take, our life, like I've said initially, is now built around these mobile devices and gadgets. We are using mobile apps to interact with our education, online with our schools, institutions, homes. Our appliances, devices are all connected to these mobile devices that we have. The whole ship has been taken away from me. Please check that for me. All right, whilst I go on. Right. So we could see that day in and day out, our activities are integrated, woven with these mobile apps and systems that we use on daily basis. Therefore, protecting it is very, very key. Now, I can wonder what will happen to any one of us or any member on this call if you lose your mobile device. Either it is completely stolen, lost, destroyed, or somebody has taken over, or there's a malware attack, copying all information on your devices to unknown places that we do not have access to. All right, so to simply put some few measures in place, a screen lock is one of the basic requirements, that you set up a pin, a pattern, or any form of biometric way of locking. Now, these days, most of the latest devices, both for Android and iOS, requires that you use be facial, recognition sign-in as a biometric measure to authenticate you, which are very good, or you are using your fingerprint to do all these things, and it is fantastic. All right, regular updates, keep your OS and apps up to date. Most of the time, the platforms that we are on, they do indicate this into us. By times we ignore. Most people will ignore an update request by either iOS or Android devices that we are using, which are very serious issues, because it is through updates that developers, okay, make sure they cure these loopholes, vulnerabilities that have been identified. That is the opportunity for them to patch it up, to make amends, to correct a mistake that has been identified, to correct or seal a loophole that has been identified. So it is important for regular updates to be carried on. And once we are prompted by the device, the platform we are using, we should do whatever it is possible to update our device. Then also secure connections. Use secure Wi-Fi and turn off auto connect. Yes, one of the things that a lot of people are fallible to is free Wi-Fi. When you go for programs, occasions, the first thing most people are interested in is free Wi-Fi. Free Wi-Fis can be very, very dangerous. When you find yourself at the airport, you find yourself at gatherings, how sure are we that these free Wi-Fi are truly free? You know, there's nothing that is absolutely free in this world. There is always a cost element that will be paid. If you connect to free Wi-Fi and it is a rogue one, how are you going to get these things? Well, what you realize is that individuals can set up something that is free, but because they are passing your connections, they are routing your connectivity through their systems, they may or could have access to these things at their will. And that will be what? Very, very disastrous to you. Then the next one is app permissions. Review and limit app permissions. The moment you are installing any app or system onto your device, it will request for permissions. Now, permissions are required to use certain functionalities or options on your device. So, for example, access to the camera, it may need a permission to be able to do that. To the recording, to the microphone, permission may be needed. To the file system, permissions are needed for you to do these things. Please, is the previous, listen. I'm on the previous slide. Go to the previous slide. Yes, this way. Yeah. So permissions are actually needed before, but times because we are in a haste to use the functionality of the software, the app, we do not care about this and just go ahead granting permissions without knowing the implications. So, for example, some of the key functionalities or part of our the devices. So the question is the app I'm installing, why does it need access to the camera? Why does the app need access to the camera? Is it necessary? Must I provide it or not? So you're looking at what your intention of installing that app is. If it is nowhere near the usage of what? Your camera, do not grant access. The app will request for access to your microphone. Are you going to be making calls? Are you going to be either voice, video, or anything? If there are not going to be anything of this functionality needed by the app, then do not grant permissions to use your microphone. So those are some of the features, granting permissions to use this particular functionalities. Then device encryption. Enable device encryption. On most of these tools or gadgets that we have, we can enable a total encryption so that in the event that the device is missing, is stolen, people can still not get access to what the information that is stored on the device. So it is important. But a lot of us, how many people would want to buy an encryption system to encrypt the mobile device that we have, whether it is a laptop or mobile phones that we have? How many people will be ready to buy an encryption software to encrypt their data on these devices? Well, we tend to ignore these things, but the impact of the information that we have on these devices are so valuable that losing them or getting out into another platform will be what? Or to unauthorized people will be very disastrous. Hello, am I audible?
Yes, please, we can hear you.
Okay, all right. I could see some chats going on. All right. Okay. Now, to secure mobile apps, now it is very important we know the source of the apps that we get installed on our platform. iOS has a very strict platform where it is difficult for you to install applications outside the App Store. However, Android has a flexibility where if the APK is built up, you can even install outside the Play Store. Now, in organizations who need their own application, it will be very, very good for them to be able to install apps outside the Play Store. However, there are certain rogue applications that to the ordinary person has some benefits. As a result of that, some of these apps are not allowed into the Play Store. So we go ahead by downloading them from the website without going through the Play Store. This can have some serious consequences. We are not saying that all apps on the Play Store and the App Store are 100% secured, but at least the mechanisms on this platform make sure some basic security stuff are taken care of. So it is not every application, if Apple or Google sees that they are not, or they have some security questionable apps, they will not allow them to be placed in the Play Store. So we installing outside these two environments, then we are spelling our own doom. So somebody forwards an app to you that download it or install it. If it is not coming from Play Store or App Store, then know that you are putting yourself at risk. So the only secured means or ways where you can trust the source is to download from the App Store or the Google Play Store. Then also, when you are installing and these apps ask for the permissions before installing, make sure you have read and you really understand the implications as to why the app wants to have access to your camera, your microphone, your file systems, to your pictures and all other things. Make sure you really understand that the entire functionality, the purpose of the app is related to these key features of your physical, your hardware device before granting them. Then app updates keeps us updated to patch security vulnerabilities. Yes, every platform offers updates. Updates are just mechanisms to patch up, to make amends to some security issues that have been identified. All right. Then also secure browsing. Use a secure browser and avoid unsecure websites. Yes, most of the time your device, whether mobile or laptop, mobile phones or laptops, would prompt you if you are entering an unsecure website. You will mostly see this on the address bar. You see unsecure sites, or the color may change to red, indicating there's some security lapses there. Fine. It is important that you understand and know the risk implication before visiting these sites, if it is needed to be visited. But else, then that is a sign that whatever you are going to do there, your security is not guaranteed. Therefore, you just have to move away or find an alternative means of doing so. All right. Next slide, please. Okay. Now, what are some of the best practices that we can adopt on this? Now, safe browsing. Be cautious of suspicious links and emails. Yeah, these are the most basic way of tricking people into malicious websites or using malicious applications. Now, I think it has already started. You begin to be hearing a lot of promotions on WhatsApp platforms. People are going to be forwarding links. Of course, the cyber criminals behind these things are also very wise. Okay, how many of us, when we are warned that this is a malicious website, would want to go? Nobody would want to go. So they will bring it in a form, in a way that you will be enticed. So, for example, you are going to start seeing that Goyle is giving out, running a promotion. Melcom is giving out Christmas promotions. So these are all ways and means of making sure you are tricked into clicking on this link, downloading certain things, and that behind these things are hidden what malicious what applications or intentions that could lead you into serious trouble. So one of the best ways to avoid, clicking on links. It doesn't matter whom it is coming from. The individuals forwarding, they have not won that old Benz model that is being distributed by Benz. None of them has won it before, but they just keep on forwarding. So please make sure you really understand if it's a promotion that you have won it yourself before forwarding to other people. Then the use of public Wi-Fi. Well, I made mention about it previously. Avoid sensitive transactions on public Wi-Fi. So Wi-Fi's that are free, that you don't know the source. Yes, we may say internet is data is expensive, but comparing to what you could lose, what you can expose yourself to, I'm sure you getting your own modem and walking about all the time and managing your own is far, far better than you compromising yourself or putting yourself at a risk in the name of what? Free Wi-Fi. Now, remote wipe, set up a remote wipe capability. Now, remote wiping is where if we cannot track the device anymore, if the device is stolen, then remotely we can issue a command to erase everything that is on that device. So be it a laptop or a mobile phone. Once you have that capability, that software installed on it, okay, most of these things are embedded in some of the tools that we call MDM, mobile device management softwares, MDMs. Okay, so these MDMs actually have the capability where if a device is reported to have been stolen, it could be wiped out immediately. So that is one of the capabilities that can be done. Then also we have the backup. Regularly back up your devices. Yes, it is important that we back up our devices. Now, most of the platforms that we have, for example, iOS, Apple has that functionality. Google has that functionality where you can buy additional space to be able to back up your devices, your document, and all other tools online. WhatsApp has also blessed us with some of this functionality where you can always regularly back up your stuff on WhatsApp cloud, so that in the event we lose these devices, okay, we are able to recover them. Now, a lot of us, how many of us are backing up our laptops regularly, that in the event that your laptop crashes right now, the next minute you are up and running your business, you don't lose sensitive documents, sensitive receipt reports because you have a backup online. It takes only some few, nothing can be free anyway, but it takes you some few amount of CDs to make sure you are secured, so that in the event your device is missing, you don't lose that much. Then secure your physical device. Use strong, unique password or biometrics to do that. Then lost or stolen device, have a plan in case your device is lost or stolen. Now, it is not a matter of if. Let's make it use the word when. So when your device is missing, when it is stolen, you can't tell when it will be. But if it is stolen, what plan do you have? What is your plan B? We'll be talking about it, plan B. What is your plan B for your device right now? Right now, if your mobile phone, your mobile device, your laptop gets missing, do you have a plan B? How do you get access to all the information? Because we know the mobile phone, either it is stolen away from you, or it may even fall off somewhere. You can't trace it anymore. But what will be? Will you be found wanting? Are you going to lose some very critical, businesses as a result of certain reports, certain receipts that you are keeping on your devices and you can no longer have access to them? So we need to get ourselves prepared because it can happen at any point in time without notice to us. So that we can have a backup. Google, for example, Gmail will automatically give you 15 gig for free. Okay, most Gmail this are 15 gig for free. But outside that, you can buy 100 gig, 200 gig, so that you make sure all the time, weekly or monthly basis, you are backing up the things that you have done on these platforms so that you are safe. Then also take the time to educate yourself. Stay informed about the threats, latest threat, and the best practice. Like we are learning now, the best practice and things to do. Of course, you have to keep yourself updated. We are all in this together. These have become the tools we are working with on daily basis. So there's no way we can afford to lose guard on these things. Then your privacy settings too must be very solid. Review and customer privacy settings on social media apps as well, so that your privacy can be, protected. The settings allowing who can have access to information about you online and so many others. We'll talk about this more when we start talking about digital footprint. Yes, next slide, please. Okay. All right. So we also made mention of a digital footprint in our topic, mobile device security, securing your digital footprint. Now, what then is a digital footprint? So it refers to the traces and records of an individual's online activities and interactions. So this includes, not limited to, what you create, what you share, what you leave behind when you are using the internet, social media, website, apps, and various online services. All right. It can actually encompass a range of data such as posts on social media, comment on blogs, online purchases, and search histories, and many more other things that you have done. Well, this can either be actively shared by you, or it can be collected passively by various online platforms and services. And let me give you a very critical example, a serious example that have been happening these days. Now, of recent, you remember, or you may have seen, bloggers, and especially in the political arena, they will go and dig some old information that was either tweeted, commented, or shared by a politician. Then they play it back to them. Of course, that is a critical example of what? Digital footprint. So what you said yesterday, things that you said, years ago, can be seen, can be brought back to light. Once we go to these platforms, the comments that we pass, the things that we say, the contributions that we do, these are all kept, and this become our footprint, things that we have stated, we have commented on. And mind you, now employers have become so much interested in these things that they are ready, before they sign you on board and roll you on their platform, they do go ahead to check your social media profiles. Of course, there have been countless number of cases where individuals have been denied visas. Of course, you lambasted the USA some years back, and today you want to go to their country to do what? So some of these things come up because of the experience of the things you have said, your digital footprint, and mind you, it cut across. So whichever channel, whichever platform, so long as it is a social media, it is online, it is stored on a server somewhere, these things never go away. We'll tell you the internet never forgets anything. So these are things that could be played back to you. Then in that event, it could have what? Some devastating effect on you if you are not very careful about this. Yeah, next slide, please. Okay, now here are some tips to guard against what? Digital footprints. Now, let's all do this exercise after here, okay? Just search for yourself online and see the number of information or things about you, your name, how you appear on social media or online. Just do a search about your own self to see what information it is about you. Don't be surprised when you find that similar names of yours or your identity have Facebook accounts that you have that are very active and you have absolutely no idea of. You may probably find out that you are not the only Emmanuel Gadasu in this world, that there are several people from several angles, different countries, who are having the same name as you, or probably in this same country. So go and do a little search about yourself. Then you will have an idea about the perception that, or the picture you have painted about yourself out there for the entire world to see. Now, before you make a post, make sure, put on the brakes. Think about the post you are going to make. 2 years from now, 3 years from now, if that post is played back to you, how are you going to see it? Well, I have seen some comment on Facebook saying that Nana Mama Brown said if she had known she was going to be this famous and popular, there are certain things, for example, some people that she dated that she wouldn't have done that. Of course, we all don't know what is going to become of us tomorrow. Assuming today, you are all over social media, writing every comment without thinking about these things. Tomorrow, the next 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, you are an MP, you are a minister, you become the president of this nation. If we should go back and take a screenshot of the things that you said, will there be any regrets about the things that you have said? So it is important that whatever comment you want to pass, no matter how angry, how excited you are, let's be mindful of the things we post online. The internet never forgets. Limit your sharing of your personal data. People like to post everything about themselves. The dress they wore today, the food they've eaten today, the places they have been today, posting all this in all over for people to see. Limit how you share information about yourself. People are going to play back this same information to you one day or the other. Stay private. Avoid sharing, tagging locations and photos. Everywhere you have visited, you are at the airport, you are flying to Dubai, you're on the track. You would have even, thank God, probably there's no, the flight you may be boarding, there's no internet. Like you'll be tweeting everything in the flight till you get down. Let's have some private life. Let's have some private life. It's not everything that you want to let the world know about it, because these are the digital footprints you are leaving. Would you be happy for us? Why would you want us to know what we ate yesterday? You went for a restaurant, it was good. To every single place you want us to know? Is that how you want to live your life? What will be the effect? Hello? All right. Then also be mindful of others. You see, that group picture you are posting, some of your colleagues will never like the idea. That post you are putting out there, you are tagging people to it. They may not like it. So let's be mindful not only of ourselves, but of other people too when we are doing some of these things. All right. Now some key takeaways for us. Okay. It is important that we keep our software and apps updated. So we are talking about the operating system, your Windows that you are using. Whenever the information keeps popping up, updates, new updates, make sure you follow and do the new updates. Anytime your software, the app, that there's new update in Play Store, in App Store, go out there and update. Then also be cautious of app sources and the permissions. Where are you getting that app from? Is it because a friend has, recommended it, forwarded it to you? No, go to the Play Store, read about them, read about the software. People have faced challenges, they will report it there. Take some time, read about it, and make an informed decision. There are several apps or multiple apps that can do the same things for us. So go out there, read about them. And then when an app is requesting permission to your microphone, to your camera, all right, to the file system, to your photos, to your files, let's be very conscious. Is that what the app is intended to do? What has the camera got to do with me using the app? Is there any correlation? Is there any way the app will allow me to take pictures and other things? Then you can be sure that allowing access to the camera will be relevant. If not, disallow, deny access to that. Then use strong password, pins, and other biometrics, facial recognition, fingerprints. Yes, then continuous self-education is also very important. These are the things we are using for our daily businesses. So it is important we learn about them, we get educated around them and use them. Then always have a plan B for your device and data. Yes, I know this is not something that a lot of us have done. If your phone gets missing right now, how long will it take you to get another phone? That is your plan B. How long will it take you when you lose your laptop right now? Not only maybe it is stolen, maybe it fell down, completely broken, all right? How long will it take you to have another? That is your plan B. So we should start putting in place plan Bs to make sure we continuously stay in business and do what is right. So your plan B for your device, for the personal information that you have, is also very, very important. Now, passwords are also very key. The stronger your password, the more secure your devices and data could be. We should learn to introduce some form of complexity into our passwords. All right. Not only using the same password for almost everything around your life. Let's keep on changing. The best approach is, or best practice, every 30 days, you should change your password to make sure you are safe. Now, in conclusion, cyber criminals are working on improving both malware functionalities and spread vectors. So, cyber criminals, that is their job, to make sure they steal data from you, get you, compromise your own data by introducing rogue apps, malwares that you go and download in the name of something that is free. Then that is where they get you. All right. Then malware is increasingly spreading through legitimate channels, such as official marketplaces and ads in popular apps. So not all applications in the Play stores, the app stores are 100% secured. At times, they are also able to beat the security mechanism. So the fact that the application is in the Play Store or the App Store doesn't mean it is 100% secure. But let's try to read about them before you download or install any of this app. Go ahead, read the comment, have some few minutes and review the comment, the things people are saying about them before you go ahead. Then it is also true for both apps and dangerous mobile banking apps are also malware targeted. Then beware of your digital footprint, whatever you leave on the internet, because the internet never forgets anything. It could take 100 years. It is still there. People have taken screenshots, are waiting the day you become that big man that you have been looking up to. Then this very same thing will begin to be played to you. And that is when the regret will be coming. So now that we are aware, let's prevent those regrets far in advance by making sure whatever we are posting, whatever we are commenting on, it is not everything. You can be very angry. But in your anger, if you write that post, there's a tendency that when you return to your sober moment, you would have felt very, very sorry for putting those things up there. And remember your plan B for your device. If you lose your laptop right now, if you lose that phone right now, how long is it going to get you to get another one to be used for your works? All right. So that's all we have for this short period of time. Thank you very much.
All right, Mr. Emmanuel Gadasu, thank you so much for this wonderful presentation. We are very much grateful. Participants, it is now time for you to ask questions if there are. So let's see your hands up if you have any questions. I can see Lexis well. Lexis.
Hello, please
yes, Lexis. Yeah, kindly go ahead with your question.
So good afternoon, everyone, and Mr. Emmanuel, forgotten the surname. Thank you for this information. In fact, we need to stay safe in this digital world. Okay, so my question is, you said with our passwords, we should be updating them per your recommendation every 30 days. And most of us do forget our password. Sometimes you might even be using a specific password for all your domains. You end up forgetting it. So are you still going to recommend that we should keep on changing our password? If so, is it also advisable to be writing down our password so that if we forget them, or maybe if I update my password yesterday and I don't know which is which, can I go back to the book and refer? Is that one also recommended, or just keep everything inside our mind?
Okay, thank you very much. Yes, I understand your situation, the point you are coming from. At times, the password you have, they are so much that even remembering them becomes what? So you would always have to be reset. Yes. I have personally adopted a mechanism. You can see my password, but if you enter the password, it will not work. It's written down, but some are written down, but if you enter it as it is written down, there's no way to work. Why? Because I know there are some elements or characters that I know they are never part of my password, but it is introduced. But those are just pointers for me to help me remember the password. Once I see it, I know the characters that I don't use. And I write it in such a way that, well, I'm the only person who understands. There are times that even some of my colleagues at work, it becomes critical for you to share a password with them. All right. Now they know we all have an understanding. You will see the password, all right, either through a text message or WhatsApp, but they know there are certain characters. In some cases, maybe the first character, the first 3 characters are not part of it, or the last character is never part of it, but you are not going to know. So devise a mechanism where you can understand this thing really. But the advice that do not write password, that one they will tell you. The reason being that a lot of people will go and write the password the way it is. If you're writing, then everybody is going to see it. So if you can devise your own means as a pointer to you, all right, to help you. So you write the password. Then you know anywhere you see W, you know W is never part of your password. So fine, it gives you a pointer. So yes, to some extent, you can, if only you can protect that information so that people cannot obviously see that and use. Then you can devise your own means. Or you could also use what password managers. But what some of these password managers too are known to be compromised. So that is why, well, I am very skeptical when I'm using this. So devise your own means, okay, where you can write a password, but nobody will be able to know that this is a password. Then in that way, you can also protect yourself. Then also the use of what passphrases. Passphrases are just like sentences. So once you're able to repeat that sentence in your mind, you know the key items within that sentence what you can use. So passphrases, password managers, they are recommended. Then you also devising your own means of what keeping your password or providing yourself pointers to use. That is also a very good one. Thank you. Yes, I think Mabel is asking if it is advisable to use the same password for all apps. Yeah, what it means is that you open up yourself to what we call a single point of entry. All right, single point of entry. Okay. All right. So if there's only one password that you are using for example, let's say your WhatsApp, your Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Gmail, and all that things, that means the moment that one password is compromised, somebody knows of it. It means all the other things that are linked to it, they can have access to it. So that is why it is not advisable. It is not advisable to use one password for all your apps. Vary them. Use them for different, so that in case one is compromised, somebody has access to, let's say, your Gmail. It doesn't mean they will have access to your bank platform. They will have access to your Facebook. But if it is the same, the individual would, a hacker would always want to try all of them on all the platforms. Then you'll be in a very, very serious trouble because they take hold of everything. So, for example, if you are using the same password for your Facebook account, your Facebook is compromised. You want to reset the password. It says it is telling you it has sent the link into your email account. That same email has also been compromised. Then your account is going to be perpetually be taken over by this unscrupulous cyber criminal. So it is not advisable. Mabel, thank you.
All right, thank you so much, sir, for that explanation there. Israel Agodo, forgive me if I got the surname wrong. But Israel, you can ask your question, please.
Thank you very much. Okay, I want to ask on how to manage our emotions, especially on online. Most of times when you go to Facebook, TikTok, there might be a political issue, tribal issue, and then you get very, for me, for instance, at times I do insult people under the comment section. So my problem, how do I manage my emotions while I'm online? Thank you.
Wisdom or Israel, this one I will refer you to emotional therapy. Anyway, we all get infuriated. At times you see some of the comments and you just want to reply. But you see, remember that the future, we have a long way to go in the future. So if as a result of a comment you have passed when you are angry, will be used against you. Look at this, and when people are being vetted for parliament, this in a ministerial position, when they go there, I hope you have listened to some before. People go and print all manner of things, your educational background, things you have done, and they will play back these things to you. So you see, somebody will go and print all the comments. You insulted it, you reacted to this. So one of the principles I have personally adopted, if I am angry, I don't post. If I'm angry, if I am not in line with that, I don't post. You just have to wait, or you write it. Let me give an example. Recently, there's a platform that we are a group. We are, let's say, a student platform. Administration was doing something, and when I wrote to them, the response that they gave, in fact, I was very angry, so I replied the email. But one of the things, because I always followed that principle, I didn't reply it. I wrote it down. Then I sent it to the platform that, hey, tell the guys, this is. So I sent the initial email. Everybody was completely, this is very insulting. Then I now later on forwarded the reply I wanted to give. Yeah, some were saying, Charlie, that it is equal and proportional. Go ahead. Others also said and say, no, calm down, calm down. Well, I resorted to those who said, calm down. Then, so eventually I did not send the email at all. So because even Bible says there's wisdom in what multitude of what advices. So I took that. So let's be careful. In your anger moment, don't react, don't respond. Because in fact, nobody, if we are all angry, what we say, when we become sober, we regret them. So don't put yourself in that corner, thinking of tomorrow's sake. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Mr. Gadasu, in addition to your accolades, you are now an anger therapist. Thank you so much. Let's go to John Mbun. John Mbun.
Thank you for the opportunity. I have an appeal. I actually joined late. I think we're on the fourth slide. So I don't know what happened from the first to the fourth. So if you could explain or rope me in by explaining those portions that are missed. Then again, I want to find out with regards to the digital footprints. I don't know. Is there no way out? Does it mean if you have posted some things before, then there's no way you can pull them down the internet? That is the question I also want to find out. Thank you.
Okay. I think with regards to what we treated before, maybe Madam Sarata will arrange and the slides may be shared with those who may need it.
Yeah, sure. We will do that. And even the recordings will also be shared on our channels as well. So we'll talk about it.
Fantastic. Yes. Right. So you will always have access to that. Yes. Yes. The reason why we say the internet never forgets is that even when you are able to edit it or delete it from the very platform you posted, other platform have already captured it. How can you track all the various platforms that have carried this thing out and be deleting one by one? It may not be possible. And some are archival purposes. There's nothing you can do to make any changes to it. All right. For example, there's this website called archive.org. Archive, the word archive.org. It stores every website as at a particular time how they are. So let's say 3 days ago, how a website is, it captures it, and you have made a post by then. Today, you have gone back to the main website to make changes. You can't go to archive.org and make that changes. All right. And remember, people are also taking screenshots. At times you are in a group, somebody posts something very critical, and later on comes to delete it. By the time you delete it, people have already taken screenshots. All right. And they're also going to spread it. So in that way, you may not be able to keep track of all the various places and delete them. So maybe on the original platform, you could, or they may allow you certain things out of it. But there's also a limit. So for example, even Facebook editing, WhatsApp editing, I think after some minutes, is it 30 or 50 minutes above, you can't edit it again. All right. You can't edit it again. So that's how it is, because of the nature of how it's spread and how people take screenshots. All right. So that's why, to just make sure you are very careful about it. Where you have made a genuine mistake, but if the things are so devastating, people would want to keep it for future remembrance. Yes. All right. And I think Madam Sarata has put something very good in the comments. Remember, your physical life is not different from your online life. they are the same. So you will not do, so don't do what you will not do physically, doing that online. Thinking
That's
you are
right.
hiding behind it. You can never hide from anywhere. All right,
That's
thank
right.
you.
All right, thank you so much. Let's go to Frankie. Frankie.
Yes, thank you very much for the opportunity. Bosima, thank you so much. Your presentation was quite insightful and straight to the point. My question here is that you talked about app permission. And I'm wondering, maybe somebody is also thinking, supposing I have consciously or unconsciously given out some permissions, is there any way at a press of a button I can have a snapshot of all the permissions that I've given out, so I could probably, reverse them?
Okay. Yes. So all the platform, both iOS and Android offers that platform. There are two ways you can do that easily. One, on every single app, you go to the info or details about that particular app. Then you are going to see all the things that the permissions that particular app has to some of the key features. Then you can now either turn it off. If it is already given, you can turn it off. So that one through the app, you go to the app, the details about that app, then you see all the things that the app has access or permission to. Then the other way around is you go to your microphone, or you go to your camera, or you go to your file. Then you see all the apps that also have access or permission to use them. Then you can, at that point, decide to turn them off or just allow it as it is. So these two ways, you can always get to know which app is using a particular functionality or part of your device. All right. So those are the straightforward things that you can check. And now you can always check, deny or allow the permission at any point in time. So occasionally, when you go through these things, you will see them. All right. And I hope that helps. Yes.
Yes, sure.
All right. Thank you so much. Let's take our last question from Lexus. Lexus is back again. Let's take our last question from you, and then we can wrap up.
The first one is, looking at where the world is going, should we trust our colleagues, our friends, our family members by sharing our devices with them? And two, what are the things we have to do if we want to give our devices to repairers? Because these people today can leak your information. And then the last thing is, if somebody leaks your information, is there any organization in Ghana you can report? You can make a report to?
Okay. All right. So the first one is whether it's advisable to share with your family or should we trust our friend here? Trust, operate with Operation Zero Trust. Never trust anyone. Operation Zero Trust. Well, to me, I think if you are married, okay, then the only trust you can give to your spouse is maybe the password to your account, to critical business information that maybe if you are running your own business, fine. Those one you can give for safekeeping. But maybe it can even be written that things can be written that somewhere that in case you are not available, you are not there, something has happened to you, then they can take it on from that aspect. So that one is between you and your spouse, or maybe your children. But to be given access to them on regular basis, you see, if they are well trained, everybody is well educated, so you don't touch it until you are no longer there. Maybe you have passed on or something has happened critically, and in your absence, not when you are leaving and accessible, that's when they can go there. No. So if they are trained, they understand these things, then they can go by that. That's so you don't need to absolutely don't trust anyone on things about devices and gadgets. And if you want to give your gadget and other things to these people, now the mobile devices, Android has this feature, all right, where you can create another account as a guest. So that is if they really have to use it. Maybe, for example, at times your children may need to use your device for homework. So either you are getting them their own devices to do that, or you create another account with what? A guest account where the functionalities and things that they can do are limited. And also, iOS also has a functionality where you can actually block or lock before you give to the individual. If it is Facebook that you have opened and you want the individual to go to, you lock it to that. It is only Facebook that the individual, he or she cannot go outside that particular application that you have opened for that individual. So basically, these are the two things that I know you can always do when you are giving your device to another person. So either you are locking the exact application. So if I'm showing you pictures and I lock it to that level, you can't go outside the viewing of pictures. Or I create another account. So by the time I want to give it to you, I switch to that account. And that account has limited functionality. You can't do certain things on that particular, using that particular account. So these are the two ways that I know you can do that always. All right. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Emmanuel Gadasu, for this beautiful presentation. And to all our participants today, we want to say thank you so much for making time to join today's presentation. It's been quite educative, and I know we all have learned a lot. We will come your way again with another webinar in 2 weeks' time. And we hope when it gets to that time too, and we call on you, you will avail yourself so that we all share knowledge so that we can also acquire and use the knowledge that we acquire from here. This is Kofi Annan ICT Center, and you can always reach us on our website, gi-case.gov.gh. And then when you come to our social media handles at Kofi Annan ICT, you can also find us there. The recordings will be shared on our Facebook and our YouTube channels. So those of you who joined late and have not registered, the registration link has been shared. So kindly register so we can share all those information with you. So you can always go back and then listen, and the slides will also be shared. Because I realized a lot of people were asking of the slides. It will also be shared on our website. So kindly take note, do register with us, and then we will share all the information with you so that later on you can also go back and play it. Once again, we want to thank you so much for joining us for this evening session, and we hope to meet you again for another session. So the social media handle is at Kofi Annan ICT on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, which is now X, and then on YouTube as well. So kindly take note. Thank you so much and have a wonderful evening.